Welcome back. We are having our second conversation for the morning, and the conversation of meeting the mayoral candidates continues. In this conversation, we will be speaking to Jacklyn Burns, and she is the mayoral candidate for the United Democratic Party. Good morning, Ms. Burns. How are you doing?
Good morning, Ms. Sabrina. Good morning, both of you. Thank you for having me.
All the way from Belmopan.
Yes, all the way from Belmopan.
Well, we know that we have our viewers tuning in from all over the country. At this point, you are using this platform to speak to the people of Belmopan on why they should vote you in.
Yes.
Let's take this opportunity to have a brief introduction of who you are, Ms. Burns.
Okay. So for those who don't know me, I'm a high school teacher by profession. I've been a high school teacher for 26 years, and I've also adjunct lectured for the University of Belize. I'm a poet, published poet. I've been very active in my community. I've served in various voluntary capacities within Belmopan. I advocate for young people to get educated, and wherever I can assist with that, I do. I've hosted a youth group known as Lyrics Nation, which promotes poetry and lyricism. And I am basically engaged in pageantry, whatever it is that somebody would ask my assistance to participate in, I'm willing.
You seem to be an all-arounder. You're very much involved in your community as well, with both young and older persons as well.
Yes, certainly. I think it's inbred. Ever since I was a kid, I've been involved in community development. When I was about 14, 15, I served as the Belmopan Youth Commission Vice President, and that started my community roles.
So why politics?
Because it engages a person in leadership and community service, which is natural to me. And because I grew up quite poor, and a lot of people in the community helped to get me where I am today. I have a master's degree, and I never saw that possible when I was a child. I come from a family of 6, and I was the first one to finish high school, and so, there were others to come after me. I come from humble beginnings where my parents weren't formally educated, but they advocated for education.
How have you been able to sort of use those experiences as motivation to get you where you are in the political space?
It's the exact catalyst for why I'm here today, I think. I never envisioned running for politics, but there was one person in particular who contributed to my success academically, the person, Alger Bradley, and people in Belmopan would know him as the toucan factory guy. He started that toucan match factory, and I remember there was one semester when I was doing my associates that, it wasn't happening, and he came and he said, "Jax, I believe in you. You're a smart young lady. I'm going to help." And he did. He wrote a check. I graduated, and years later I moved to Corozal to become a high school teacher for 4 years. And I came back to Belmopan to thank Mr. Bradley and to say, this is what I made of myself, and your contribution went far. And he had passed away, unfortunately. So I decided, well, let's pay it forward. And, I got a bunch of young people together. Currently, I partner with 2 organizations that assist with young people in education.
What is the perception of Belmopan residents and voters of you as an educator and as a politician?
I think as an educator, I'm seen as the strict but good teacher. I give the kids a lot of love, but it's tough love. You have to perform. My students out there openly acknowledge that. In terms of seeing me as a politician, I think that many of them think that I'm a bit sweet-natured. I've been told, like, "Jax, we don't know if this role suits you because it's a doggy world. It gets really nasty out there." But I tell people I've survived some tough times, and so I feel ready. I've been in politics before. This isn't my first run. I've served as the deputy mayor for Belmopan, and I've had 2 terms as a Belmopan City Councillor.
More specifically, however, your political alignment and your connection to John Saldivar. We all know the cloud that has been cast over him as a politician in Belmopan. Do you believe that perhaps your candidacy this time around could very well be overshadowed by what has befallen him?
You see, the thing is, John Saldivar isn't on the ballot at this point, and that is by no means a statement of disassociation. I am happy to have him in my corner, and I have answered this question before where I stated that politics is local, and the people of Belmopan knows what John Saldivar has done for Belmopan, and he has assisted so many families. He has been a huge part of the development we see in Belmopan, and I can safely and securely say that under the UDP there was growth and development in my city, so much so that my mom lives in New York, and I have family members who would come home and say, wow, this is new in our city. It's welcoming to come back home and see this sort of development. Where a cloud pertaining to John Saldivar is concerned, I am happy to say that he's been a strategist for my campaign. He knows the political game, and he's guided me well, and I feel empowered to have him in my corner.
I want to use this opportunity then to hone in a bit on some of the feedback that we've gotten from the people of Belmopan.
Sure.
We provided a coverage or a snapshot of the voice of the people in the city, and they've briefly shared things that were concerning to them. Let's talk about some of the concerns that you have heard while being out on the field and interacting with these people, and how you plan to address them if you are elected as mayor.
People are very concerned about the streets in Belmopan. Now, it might seem like this is something superficial, surface level, but we're used to this being our capital city. We're used to smoothness on our roads, even, and people complain about how it affects them, their personal vehicles. People also complain quite a bit about the lack of security in our city, that crime has been on the increase, and it seems that there's nothing much being done about it. People complain also about, you know, the debris not being picked up to time, the garbage not being picked up to time, and these are some of the basic services that the city council is responsible for. Drainage is a main problem, especially in the Mayoral area, where if we were to have 2-3 days of rain, people actually get water in their houses, and so it directly affects the residents. And you know, it's something where they expect that their municipal government would be assisting them.
So there are ongoing efforts by the current administration to complete some of these projects that concern infrastructure and what have you, including drainage. There's also the likelihood that, just like Pablo Kawich, you can also be voted into office on March 6th. What happens thereafter in terms of being able to continue some of these projects that are currently underway?
Well, it is our plan to hit the ground running and getting to work. We don't plan to sit in offices and say, you know, I'm mayor or I'm councillor this. I have a very energized team, and my team, I think, will definitely be the type of individuals who will say, we want to get out there and we want to get it done. I have some go-getters on my team. I'm fortunate to have them. And they are persons who have had their own successes in life, but want to contribute to the development of Belmopan because it's our home.
I want to segue just for 1 second here, and then we'll come back to our normal conversation. The issue of the application from the Belize Teaching Services Commission to grant you leave to campaign, the application was denied.
Yes.
Where are we with that, and how do you believe that that perhaps would impact your ability to get on the ground and do your door-to-door ahead of the March 6th elections?
Okay, so previous to my being a candidate as mayor, I ran as mayor 3 years ago. I know the impact that had on my health and on exhaustion and whatever. Politics is no easy game. It's a house-to-house visit of 10,065 voters in the case of Belmopan. And we want to reach out to as many of those as we possibly can. I took the initiative this time and offered to sacrifice my salary for 2 months to say I will be out there talking to the residents, offering them myself as their mayoral candidate. I know of 2 prior colleagues who had gotten leave without pay for this specific purpose. One was a campaign manager, so not even a candidate, and the other was a councillor candidate. Those 2 I'm certain of. I'm sure there are more. The teaching service, I applied on the 23rd of November last year. I got an answer maybe 2 weeks ago. But the same day the story hit the media, that was the day I got the response. And even the way I got the response was quite a challenge. I demanded the response that day because I was not hearing anything. I went to my union to request a response. I didn't get it. I called my secretary, my principal, my board chair, and then Teaching Services Commission on my own. Usually there's a chain of command, and you know, the board chair should have initiated that conversation, whatever. It wasn't in their interest, so I reached out. The situation with that is that they wrote me back and said, sorry, Ms. Burns, you're not elected or appointed as yet, which is Rule 85.1C. And Rule 85.1F says any other reason deemed fit by the commission. I think precedents had been set already on this matter. They denied. I didn't apply as an elected person. It's now at the appeals tribunal. Let's see what happens there. I requested an expedited hearing at the tribunal.
I want to move into the conversation that we were having previously as it relates to your candidacy and your campaign leading up to the municipal elections.
Yes.
One of the questions that we asked Pablo Kawich, mayoral candidate for the People's United Party, had to do with if he believes that the incumbent mayor would affect his running as mayor. Now, of course, you aren't a part of the People's United Party, but I still want to extend that question to you. Do you believe that the challenges that were faced under the People's United Party mayorship in Belmopan will affect the chances of them having another term? Or do you believe that the people are ready for change?
The people will have their say March 6th about how ready they are, but what I'm hearing on the ground is that people are ready for a change. We'll see how true that is when we get to the counting of those ballots. However, Mayor Palacio did extend, it was unprecedented. She extended an invitation to both mayoral candidates to come in and have a little tutorial of where we're at, what the challenges were, what the successes were, what programs she has going on. My team attended that invitation. The other team didn't, by their own choice. But I think it gave us good footing on when we're successful, how to move forward. Mayor Palacio is the first female mayor of Belmopan, and sometimes, you know, it's not about colors. We have to be mature about the political game at some point. We don't only represent the red or the blue when we're in office. We actually take an oath that says, you know, we serve without fear and favor.
So my question is then, if you're to be elected on March 6th, it would be a Belmopan City Council that is made up of the UDP ticket perhaps, or maybe a mixture of both, red and blue, but you would be mayor if that were the case. How do you plan on working with central government considering that it is all blue?
You know, I've pondered on this, and while I was outside on the couch, I heard the question posed to my opponent about, you know, city council having to be independent and stand on its own 2 feet and function. For me, leadership is about how mature you can be, attacking the issues, instilling the development that the people are requesting for. I've worked in circles, including people that are there appointed from the current government. I've led groups that are strong women from the PUP, and we've successfully done so because we rise to a level of maturity. It is my hope that we in Belize can actually get to a point where we look past the politics and think about the country that we so love and move the country forward, because that's what the public wants. They don't care about the red, they don't care about the blue. They care about what you can do for my community to get it at a better, a higher level. And that comes with maturity. So I look forward to the day when we can get there.
You mentioned that Mayor Sharon Palacio invited both sides to gather for a tutorial of sorts of how her leadership took place. Let's talk about, if you would be elected as mayor along with your team, how you intend to instill transparency and accountability within the city of Belmopan.
It's very important, that transparency and accountability. Whatever finances are there, it's not my finances. It doesn't belong to individual councillors that would be there, but it belongs to the people of Belmopan. And I think they have a right to know how their monies are being spent. We are expected to report what comes in at the council, how it is spent, and to discuss with the individuals who are members of the city. This 10,065 people ought to know why they put their votes behind individuals and what it means, what it translates to.
All right, well, Ms. Burns, I'll ask you for your final thoughts. You can use this opportunity to speak to the people of Belmopan and let them know why they should vote you and your team come March 6th.
For me, I'd first like to greet my people in Belmopan, la gente de Las Flores, de Salvapan, de San Martin, the people in Mayoral, the people in Central Belmopan, in J&W North, where I live. Hi to the residents, and I'd like to appeal to you to consider my team for March 6th, giving us your support. We're energized, we're ready, we want to contribute to the development of Belmopan, and we're offering ourselves. We hope that you support us.
My final question then has to do with the concerns that have been shared on the ground. You've been campaigning. What have residents of Belmopan shared with you in terms of what they would like to see get done other than perhaps streets and drains, perhaps from a socioeconomic point of view here?
Definitely looking at perhaps bringing tourism into Belmopan, bringing that tourism dollar there, establishing tours in areas of Belmopan, small business support, ease of doing business at the small business desk. Definitely a lot of people are frustrated with how small businesses are being taxed and so on. So it's something that we have to open up the conversation and realize that there are individuals who might want to start a business, but they're frustrated because of how tedious it is to actually get it executed in a formal fashion.
All right. Well, Ms. Burns, thank you so much for stopping by. We want to say good luck to you and your team, and we will be providing the support that is needed from the media. When that time comes on March 6th, we will be sharing with our viewers the results.
It's always a pleasure to be here for Open Your Eyes. Thank you for having me.
All right, we take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation switches into the month of love. When we come back, we will be joined by our friends from Pink to talk to us about Valentine's Day outfits. Stay with us, we'll be right back.